All right, what's up, everybody? We're live right now with Christine and Gonzo. What's up?
Hey
Let me introduce the
guys,
beautiful Christine Lopez, and I got my man Coach D in the building.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing
Coach
good, man.
Durwyn Lamb. How you been doing?
I've been doing very well. How you guys been doing?
Good.
Doing good, man. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate this.
Coach, I see you on your social media with your gym, with your guys. I mean, it looks to me like you're doing some big things. Why don't you let us know what's going on with your gym? I think you have a new gym or something.
hmm it's the same gym. Just I rebranded the name, got a new partner, remodeled the gym, redid the whole thing, and just kind of started back fresh. Had to do a new start. I think sometimes it's good to start things fresh over and things like that, And so that's what happened. But we're in the same spot. I've been in that spot for 7 years. I've owned the gym for 10 years, but we were failings for God like 7 years, at least 7 years failings, and then in the last recent couple of years, we changed the name to Lamb Striking Academy or Lamb 4 Academy.
That's
It was
awesome. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Gonzo.
no, I was just gonna ask him. So, for someone that didn't know, it was just Lamb Four. That's what it was for. It was the name before, and then you went to Lamb Striking Academy and Fitness.
It was Failings. It was Failings MMA Academy
Oh,
before
okay.
for
Oh,
7 years,
okay.
and then we switched over to the Lamb Striking Academy.
And where's it located, Coach?
It's located in Fort Worth, Texas, 3001 Shamrock Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas 76107.
Good deal.
So
Good deal.
right in the best area in Fort Worth. So I got it. I
Man,
got it. Yes.
you right down the street from me, man. I'm up in Saginaw, man. So I'm gonna have to come
Oh,
check you
okay.
out pretty soon. Yeah,
Yeah, I might.
I'm on the other side of 820.
Oh yeah, I'm on by like 7th Street area.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, I'm down there. Nice area, great area, man. I'm glad I chose that
right in
area at the time that I
right in
did.
the heart of Fort Worth, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And what classes do you offer for someone that's going to walk in there? What are the different classes that you offer? Because I know mixed martial arts is a little bit of everything or a lot of everything. So what are some of the
hmm
things that you're offering out there?
Yeah, I offer all the classes. So we do offer boxing classes still, and then we offer kickboxing, striking classes, and wrestling, and also Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So all the elements to pretty much all the mixed martial arts and things and stuff like that. So.
So,
And your
Coach,
background, I was just
no,
going
go
to
ahead,
say real
Christine.
quick, your background, you're a champ. Is it kickboxing or something?
And, and yeah, I won a world title in a full contact kickboxing title in 2008. Yeah, I did. So my background was in all because I started like at a young age doing taekwondo, karate, and even boxing all simultaneously. So I kind of was blessed to be able to do all arts at the same time with some guys, as you know, in boxing, you
Yes.
either you do boxing or that's it, but I was able to do it all. I was able to be able to train in all arts. So the taekwondo and karate and boxing all came around. Well, actually, taekwondo and karate came real early. Boxing came a little later. But I still was able to learn and grasp the foundation and basics of boxing at an early age. So, which carried me through as an adult and then into coaching. So.
Absolutely. Oh,
So, Coach, what was the reason why you got into all that, like into the boxing and the karate and stuff at an early age, man? Like, what's your story behind that? How'd you get put in that position to pick that up as a sport?
My parents, both my parents were fighters. My mom was a karate fighter. My dad was a karate fighter, kickboxer, and so was my stepdad. So, and
mm,
my uncles were boxers. My uncle trained, and back in the day in Fort Worth, he trained with all those guys that, he was with the old school guy. David Gorman was a big manager back then, but
hmm
he was under Gorman's boxing. That's where, like, a relative of mine, a kinfolk of mine, Robert Guy, out of Fort Worth, who actually was a 1985 National Golden Glove champion. But they all trained together, where Donald Curry and Stevie Cruz and Troy Dorsey and Paulie
hmm
Ayala, all those guys trained. Jay Strickland, all those guys. So my uncle trained with those guys. So I was able to, as a young man, was able to go to the training facilities with my uncle and be around those guys at a younger age, watch them train and all that kind of stuff. Back then, they had a couple spots, one in Fort Worth, north side of Fort Worth, and then they had one, Panther City Boxing Club over there in the south side of Fort Worth. And I also have a cousin, my cousin Kendra Weatherford, and that was boxing too at the time. And then his uncle George Weatherford was actually a guy that helped me was one of my boxing coaches too as well.
Nobody's messing with your family, that's for sure.
It's kind of extensive.
All fighters.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, the whole family's involved, man.
I love it.
That's good.
So really, it was like me going. Really, the main thing is across me going to karate classes with my mom at an early age, and you know, sitting there not thinking that was going to be a part of my life. Like I had no idea that was going to be a part of my life, and I started training when my mom got with my dad, my stepdad. He was like a pretty well-known martial artist in the Metroplex. Him and my uncle Eric Lamb were pretty known martial artists back in the day. So I got a chance to be around the pioneers of martial arts, the guys that started the martial arts, or the karate, American Black Belt Karate Foundation out here in Fort Worth. I had the honor to be around those guys when they were all champions and stuff. And my dad and my mom were training with these people and sparring with these individuals. So I was always around these guys when I was a young man. So I had the pleasure of doing that. So it created knowledge at a young age, not thinking that it was going to be something that I was going to do later on. I had no idea. I just realized that God set a foundation before I even knew that was going to be something that I was going to be involved in.
Absolutely.
So Coach, let me ask you this, man. When did you realize, like at what age or at one point in your life did you say, hey, look, this is something that I'm around 24/7. So when did you decide to take it upon yourself and say, hey, I'm going to make a career out of this?
Well, man, honestly, I started competing in full contact Taekwondo and karate at about 8 or 9 years old. And I liked it as a hobby. You know, I was training and I liked going through the belt systems to get my belt. And it was like a goal for me. I stopped training when I was about 15 years old because my life, you know, went a different place, not for the best place, but it changed. You know, I became a teenager and started, you know, getting involved with things I shouldn't have been getting involved with. And which is basically the streets, you know, got a hold of me and started dealing with those kind of things and dealing with those kind of people. So and I was in sports. So I played basketball, and what people don't know, I was really good at basketball and track and football and baseball. And so I played sports. You know, that was a big thing that took over. And then kind of just got bored with that because I got more involved with getting in trouble. And then when I was younger, I got locked up on some minor things. And when I got out, I was trying to find myself and went right back to the streets. About 20 years old, went back to the streets and did that for a while. And then I was, believe it or not, I had got with who is now my ex-wife, but I got with her, and then it was at that point when I was, because I had lost everything. I lost my apartment, my son was just born, so I didn't know what I was going to do. I was headed down the wrong direction, so I was just trying to figure out what was going to happen. And then I decided, man, I was like, well, you know, when I got with her, it was kind of like a spark thing, like, man, what do you want to do? And I saw kickboxing, karate school, and I thought, man, I said, this is something that I'm good at, something that I've been involved with my whole life. Maybe I think I should start doing this again. And that's what happened. And I was about 25 years old when that happened. And I started competing again, full contact kickboxing, which all this is what led up to coaching. I started competing full contact kickboxing. And then she started training with us too. She fought a couple of times kickboxing, started training and then they wanted to continue to training. So we moved back to Fort Worth. So I was living in Dallas with her at the time, moved back to Fort Worth. So they wanted to continue to train. So I continued to train and they wanted to keep fighting. So I decided to start coaching them. That's how my coaching career started. So I started coaching my stepson and I started coaching her. And then a couple of guys that I had, like Corey Washington and Forrest Curry and those guys at the time, I started coaching all those guys. And then I had an MMA team that I was coaching at the time too. So really I started out with a boxing team, amateur, and then had a couple of pros, and I had simultaneously I had a MMA MMA team as well. And as those times would happen, I was still competing myself. So all those things would happen at the same time.
So do you believe that because of your background, everything that you've been through, that you can recognize some of these young men and women that are maybe going through some of the things that you went through? Do you
For
seem to
sure.
recognize that when they come in and maybe they're going down the wrong path, or they need a mentor or some
Yeah.
guidance?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, that's the reason why I coach. For a long time when I was a young coach, I had this, I don't want to say ego, but I was excited to be a coach because I liked
Mm-hmm.
winning. I liked being a young coach and having people fight and win and stuff like that. But then as I got older, I realized that my purpose wasn't just about coaching. My purpose was my God used coaching to use the platform that I'm doing now, which is speaking and motivational speaking and mentoring to a lot of people. So I believe because of my background of the situations that I've been in my life has helped me be able to recognize young men and women that came to my gym that's lived the same kind of things I've lived through or been through the kind of things I've been through. And so I always say that, you know, I don't mind people. I don't mind coaching people how to fight, but I rather them learn how to be better human beings than be better fighters. And if being a world
Absolutely.
champion in a process happens, then that's okay. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think the platform is to reach young people, and it has.
Absolutely.
Coaching really opened up the door for me to speak to. I speak at all girls schools, and I speak to high schools and middle schools, elementary schools, colleges. Juvenile centers. That this coaching has opened that platform from that, and I think that's just what my natural and my real calling is for.
So, Coach, let me ask you, in that same sense of the topic, have you ever, or do you remember a time that you were coaching somebody, whether it was someone as an adult or someone at a young age, man, that was in a very difficult situation where you can like really kind of just see eye to eye on things? They had that rough attitude, whether it's either coming from the streets or something at home. Is there a situation that you remember that you had to like overcome that situation, and how'd you handle that? I mean, you don't have to say any names of anybody particularly, but how did you deal with that situation? Because I know coaching's not always easy. I'm not a coach, but I speak on behalf of like Coach Lopez, and she deals with a lot of kids, man, that have problems at home, problems in the street. How do you deal with those either those at a young age or those in the adult life, man?
Man, I've been pretty fortunate. I've been blessed to be able to reach everybody that's came to my gym. Now, here's the deal. I heard a saying a long time ago. It says, if you want to be a coach, prepare to have your heart broken because that comes with it. At the end of the day, they're not always going to appreciate it. They're not always going to be grateful. They're not always going to understand. But in the time that I deal with them, I never had issues with me being able to reach them to the point where they was like being disrespectful to me. I haven't. I mean, they're disrespectful in other ways, obviously. But as far as me having to tell them to stop and don't act like this and don't do this or getting in my face or me getting that's barely ever happened. But I think a lot of it has to do with the spirit too of a man or a woman or the person that I am. And I just kind of set the tone from day one, like, we're not going to have that. I'm not going to tolerate it. Not at all. I'll let people be who they be. And I understand that people make mistakes, but we have to understand that the respect level has to be understood from the jump. And we're not going to have those things. And that's okay. I'm okay with you having moments, and I'm okay with you being upset and hurting and lashing out sometimes, but we still have to be respectful. So I haven't really had very many problems with that. But as coaches, we deal with problems in other ways. I'll having to basically babysit, be dad, pay for this, do that, them not being grateful for this fighter leaves this person goes over here and does this. It's a lot of disrespect in this game. And as a coach, if trust me, it's way so much way that goes on way deeper than people realize or understand. And what coaches really deal with and what they really put up with is really something that's is bizarre.
Let
So
me ask you this. So, with that, along with that as well, is there something that you tell them so they can be open minded, man, or prepared for what they're about to embark on as far as the training or the commitment to a coach like yourself?
as of late, when I first started coaching as a young man, I didn't do that. I was always like a big brother, a mentor. But as I started getting into my late 30s and my 40s and all these things, you mature as a man as well. I matured as a man, as a coach, and as a human being as well. So a lot of this stuff was learning curves for me as well. And I had to learn because I understand that I'm not a perfect human being. I understand that that I make mistakes too, and I understand that I was younger and had to grow into manhood and still growing into manhood because we never stop learning. So as of late, um, because of the time that I've had in coaching, I've been coaching for 15 years now. So the time that I've had in coaching has allowed me to speak and talk to these guys different when they come to the gym. So when they come to the gym now time, because of what I've been through for so many years, now I just set the rules from jump off. It's like, look, you know, every fighter, I give them the same speech. Every fighter comes in here and say they want to be a fighter. Everybody says they want to be a champion. Everybody says that, and I could tell you that most people don't last. It's just being honest. But if you come in with a good attitude and you're humble and you treat people right and you're respectful to your coach, respectful to yourself, respectful for people outside the gym, and you do things the right way and you stay focused, then you can be successful. I said that's anything you do. Even if you're not a fighter, if not, that's anything. If your outside life don't line up inside, then it's not going to work anyway. So I try to give them that speech right off the jump about life. And my thing is the way you talk to people is through life lessons, is teaching them life things that they can relate to what goes on in real life, like having children, having kids, paying bills, being a wife, being a husband, a boyfriend, child, father, with all that good stuff. So I try to shoot them straight with that kind of talk first before anything else, so they can understand that if everything outside your life is out of order, then nothing will be in order. So that's what
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm like, has anybody just taken that and just turned around and just like, man, you know what, felt discouraged right off the jump?
no, no, no. I haven't
You
did
know,
that because it's go
and
ahead.
I was going to say, so for the man you are today and all your experiences and everything that you've been through, what would the man today say if you could go back in time to the 19-year-old Durwyn Lamb? What would have penetrated and what would have really stuck with you? And maybe if you would have had that mentor like yourself, it may have stopped you from doing some of the things that you did or not. What would you have said to yourself at 19?
Me now
Mm-hmm.
said, well, I would just the main thing would say like, it takes a little bit. It takes a fast time to get in trouble, and it takes a long time to get out. That's one of the main things. Like, had I known what I would have told myself, look, man, you know, as somebody told me that getting a felony or getting these class A misdemeanors or going to jail or not having good credit, not taking care of your business, had somebody told me that, then my life would be different. So meaning that because of the stuff that I did, it caused for me to have a hard life. And when you have a hard life, you have people that you bring in your life, you make their life hard as well. Because no one tells people that, this is what this felony does. You can't get a job. That's what happened to me. I would have told myself, look, man, you're not going to be able to get a job right now, bro, because look at your record, and if you do get a job, it's not going to be a good one. You know what I mean? Or get some kind of skill or trade, something you can fall back on, go to school, because and I'll tell everybody this, college ain't for everybody. So I don't give that speech to everybody. I say, but you do have to find what's good for you and what works for you. And only you can find that. And I can help you get some tools to do that, but ultimately you're going to have to make the choice to find out what it is that you want to do. Those are the things I would have told myself, like, honestly, like, look, and guess what? If you get involved with the street dudes and stuff like that, you can end up in jail or you can end up dead real fast. I mean, look, I've lost a lot of people from the streets. I lost a lot of people from a lot of things. And I would tell myself, look, if you get around with these guys, you're going to go to jail. You get with these guys, you're going to die, and you're going to cause yourself a lot of hard problems for the rest of your life. So I would have told myself, it's not worth getting involved with nothing that's not going to elevate your life.
Absolutely, most definitely. And you mentioned your faith in God. How important is having faith or believing in something, or knowing that God is there to like watch over you, protect you? How important is that in everything that you do? I mean, I know it's physical, mental, but how about the spiritual? How important is that to you?
Well, it's the most um important. Spirituality is the most important thing to my life because it's one thing to like know of spirituality is one thing, to believe in it, but it's one thing to have to walk in it. And the reason why I believe in God so much, because I had to deal with him one-on-one by myself, not from what a pastor told me, not from what somebody else told me. It's what I actually had to deal with myself. And I had to spiritually walk through these things and have faith, and I actually had to, like, when I had nothing and everything was going against me and people went against me and a lot of things happened, I had to literally like go to him for him to feed me to food to mouth and say, look, I need your help. I can't do this by myself. Because I didn't know sometimes where the next meal was going to come from. My gym shut down like twice, lost my car, lost everything. And so when that happened, I was reaching, trying to find out what to do. And I heard the spirit tell me, man, look, I am your source. Everything else is resource. And so, yes, you're going to have to struggle. Yes, you're going to have to go through hard. But if you're willing to sit down and walk through the fire without getting burned, I got you. Because he said, I promise to never leave or forsake you. And those words, I heard them so much growing up, but it never hit home until I really had to go through it. And he actually showed me. It's not what somebody told me, it's what God showed me himself in my own life is why I have so much faith.
Absolutely. In boxing, there's and I'm sure the same, with mixed martial arts, there's the good guys and the bad guys. I've always looked at you as one of the good guys.
Oh, thank you.
And it's not easy being a good guy in what we do, because there's so many people that want to use fighters for their own, financial gain and things like that. What keeps you grounded? I mean, you talked about the Lord and everything you've been through, but there's times when people, they have a relationship with Christ, or they've been through stuff, but then somebody comes and flashes some money or says you could have this, you could have this clout, you could do this. What else keeps you grounded from going in that direction?
It goes back to it being God and my morals. Like I said earlier, and you said it right, like, being a good guy is not it's hard, because even when you are, people are always gonna find something to say about you and go against you about and talk about you, because when you're trying to do the right thing, what keeps me grounded is my moral background. Like, I refuse to sell myself short, sell my soul for anything, because I know that it's temporary. So I understand for that the world's glory is different than spiritual glory. The world's glory has limitation, but the spiritual glory um is limitless. And so I realized that I can't, and first of all, it's just the way I feel. I have a compassion for humanity. So to love and forgive and have compassion, and I don't like seeing people hurt, and I don't like doing people wrong, and I don't like being that, because I know what it feels like to be that way. So that keeps me grounded. Like, I hate seeing people hurt. So that's one big thing. And my morals, I just feel like, everything shiny ain't gold. And if it's not meant for me to have it, if it's meant for me to have it from the world, then I don't want it. If it's meant for me to have it through the spiritual side of it, then I'll take it. So that's just the way I live my life. I'm not perfect. I used to be a street dude. I get mad. I got a temper. And I tell everybody straight up, I'm not a guy that walks around hiding who he is like most people do. A lot of people don't want to tell you who they are. They want to hide behind this and want to talk about what somebody else did. But they don't want to talk about what they do. See, I'm the guy that talks about what he does, what he's been through, what he feels like, because I'm a real guy like that. I've always been real like that, regardless if it touched people's spirit or not, or if it hurt them or not. I'm just who I am, because I couldn't be real if I sat up there and put all this stuff out here about positivity, about God, and do all this stuff and then hide the other stuff about me. So I want people to see all of me, and that's just the way I am. That's the way I've always been. And there's not a person that can do that, because I'm the type of person that can bring to the forefront of who I am and won't be ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of what I've been through. So that's why it's easy for me to live the way I am now, and to live in a way that in peace and sanity, because I have nothing to hide, and I would never let nobody make me feel like I have to change who I am, or make me feel like I got to lose my morals because of to gain something from this world that's temporary. That's just how it goes.
Absolutely. And you have two beautiful children,
Indeed.
which, by the way, how they impacted and changed you. I mean, I think a lot of times when people have children, they can change them or they cannot change them.
Well, my daughter, my son, God's good. he brings these children to you at different points of your life. And when my son was born, I was heavy, like moving around, doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And so he kind of, him being born gave me the spark to say, oh, I got to be around for him. So that started like the other change in my life. My daughter came in at the most perfect time because I was a real bitter man for a while, especially towards the female counterpart, because of things that I've been through and things that I've done, and so I kind of had like a bitter taste in my mouth about women. And I was telling God, just be single for the rest of my life, and women are this, women are that, this. And God had to show me, say, yeah, but you chose this, you chose that, you chose this woman, you chose these people, you chose these things. So I didn't choose those stuff for you, so you did that. So you have to, you have to reap what you sow, and we all would do that. And so I wasn't expecting to have no more kids. My daughter was actually a surprise to me. And so when I found out that her mother was pregnant, I was upset. I was sad. And I had a conversation with my dad, who's a great man to me as far as mentorship. He's a minister. He told me, he said, hey, well, God didn't lay down. You lay down with her. So you got to take that. And he shared with me, he said, look, but I believe this is the daughter that you always wanted. Because I've always wanted a daughter, but it never happened. So when my dad told me that he believed this when my daughter's mom was like only 6 weeks pregnant, I found out she was a little girl. It started changing things in me real quick, because I understood that she had to see things in me. She had to see things in me that I had to be different. I had to be way different. I had to speak different. I had to talk different. I had to act different, because I want her to see her dad as somebody that was a positive, great role model in her life. And so when she was born, I was like, man, I can't be talking like this. I can't be doing this. I can't be doing that. So it changed. She really changed almost every part of me, because it's like, now she's 3 years old. She can talk, she can see, she can feel. And so now it's like that little girl changed a lot of me, and I'm in my mid-40s now. So it's like, you never stop learning, you never stop changing. So I thank God for those beautiful angels in my life, because they changed me a lot.
Absolutely.
Man, Coach, you definitely have a story to tell, and I mean, there's a lot of people out there that go through some of the stuff that being in the streets and having to deal with the streets, man. But let me ask you something, man. If there was someone that's looking at your story and saying, man, Coach D was able to make it, he was having issues with his business, but then came back. It's like I always tell people, man, minor setback for a major comeback, right?
That's right.
And in the situation with your gym, what's the one thing that you can tell the younger crowd, man, that what would be a piece of advice that you can give them in terms of business and how to go about, starting their own ventures and things like that, man?
Man, you got to surround yourself with the right people. That's one of the major things. Surround yourself with the right people, and don't be there's a word I'm looking for, like, just you I can't think of the word, but it's like, you don't rush things, don't rush things, and patience means a lot. Patience means a lot in this game, and having a plan and having the right people around you to help you with that plan, and writing things down, and having, because that's what happened to me. I opened up that gym with nothing. I had no investors, I had no money, I had nothing. I just had faith, and I did it. And it's been open 10 years. And if somebody asks me how I kept that gym open, I say it had to only been God, because I didn't have no help. I didn't have nobody coming in helping. I do have now, but just stay true to yourself. Really stay true to yourself and have a plan. And just honestly, whatever it is that you want to do, you have to really believe in it. You have to 100% believe in it. You have to 100% believe it. You can't halfway believe in it. And you got to understand that there's going to be bumps in the roads as you go through that journey. There's going to be bumps in the road as you get to that place. And that when those things happen, to not like get scared and shake up and run, but to stay steadfast and just sit still and go through the fire, because it's going to happen. You're going to go through those trials and tribulations, those are the things that actually make us better human beings and make us stronger. If we didn't go through things, we wouldn't know nothing. I say understanding is better than wisdom because wisdom preserves you, but understanding keeps you. And so, there's a lot of wise fools in the world, but having understanding is a whole different ball game. And having understanding who you are and where your life is supposed to go and where you're at in your life at that time is a whole big thing as you continue on. And at the end of the day, you just have to, believe in your own self, like really, and have the right people around you, because you can have the wrong people around you and they'll sink your ship quick, and I've been there, So I tell them just know if you're going to pick something, know that's what you want to do. Just don't pick it just to be picking it because it's not going to last. Pray about it. Be steadfast, meditate, be patient, and let the thoughts and let all that come to you, and it'll direct your path. So many times we start this, we start that because this not work, this don't work. No, you just gotta stay steadfast in what it is, and it'll all come together.
Most definitely. Appreciate it, Coach.
I know you got a lot of champs in your gym, but right now, who are the shining stars? I've seen you traveling around. What have y'all been up to these days?
We just came back from Vegas. I have Kevin Holland just fought one knockout performance of the night in Vegas last Saturday in Vegas. We won that fight. He's probably one of the upcoming guys in the UFC, fights in 185, potentially might fight at 170. We fought in May 2 and won by a 39-second knockout. So he's a guy that had this in what they call the big show right now. But I got a couple up and coming guys, Joel Guzman and Kevin Fernandez and a couple of guys that we have now. I just got this big African guy, 6'11", 275 pounds, that plays pro basketball, and now I want to train him in May. My direction with coaching is a lot different than it was. I don't no longer seek to find fighters and to be building a team. I don't seek that no more. I seek different things. And so I'd rather have a couple of guys that I can work with that are going to appreciate and be grateful than have 20 guys that's going to get on my nerves and drive me down to the wall. So I just have a few guys. I used to have a lot of fighters. I don't have very many no more, and I'm glad. And I'm working with that way I could, I could pay attention to these guys. And I know that some of these guys are grateful. And so this is why I'm working with these guys. I got a couple of guys that'll be coming up being good kickboxers and good MMA guys that I'm working with. Probably about four solid guys that I got right now training, which is good for me because I really don't want to go back to having a big team, big, large amounts of things like that. I just rather focus that way I can focus on my business because that's something that I didn't do before. I was focused so much on fighters that my business was losing. And we all know that really fighters don't pay bills and stuff like that. So I have to really redirect my focus. And my focus now is my business, my private clients, and, just adding to that and my motivational speaking and stuff like that. And now coaching is just a strong hobby for me. I like it. I lost the love for it for a long time. I like it again because it's fun now. I get to train with guys that actually appreciate it and it's good, and I have to deal with a whole bunch of people. So far, that's what's going on. The main guy we have now is Kevin Holland. He's in the UFC, and he's doing pretty well right now.
So last words, what do you want to be known for? Well, in 100 years, and someone mentions your name, what do you want to be known for?
Just a good person, a man that was trying to do right. That's all I care about. A man that searched after God's own heart, and a man that I want to be known that this man really cared for people. He really cared for God's people, and he really wanted to see people do well, and he really was there for people, and he wanted to be a good human being. He wanted to have good morals, and he wanted to help people, and he wanted to be the shine of people's life, just to be a help. That's it. I don't care about what everybody else care about. I believe that stuff come with you as you start moving anyway. So that's going to come. I just want to be known to be a good human being and a person that help people, and then those people help people, and that just spread it through. That's all.
Gonzo, you have any last words for Coach?
No, I'm just definitely I'm impressed definitely by all the words and the motivational delivery that you have, man. You definitely have that energy, the attitude to be uplifting, man. And I'm asking you some of those questions that I probably already know the answer to in the sense of the type of person that you are, but definitely getting it out there on this platform so that the younger crowd that follows you or even just your fan base is going to come out here and listen to this podcast and listen to the words that you have to say, man. Sometimes people will need to see that on a YouTube video or on a podcast. They just hear audio. They need to hear that, man, and they need to be able to hear that from you. I know sometimes you get busy with your fighters and things like that, but the fact that they'll have the opportunity to hear all those words you just delivered to us, man, on this particular platform, I think it's definitely going to boost people's days, morales, and people to hear that, even when times get hard, that you got to keep on pushing and trucking along. So I appreciate all your words, Coach.
You're welcome. I appreciate you guys very, very, very much.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you. And for all the guys that want to follow, guys and girls that want to follow your team's journey and follow your journey, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on my Facebook page. It's Durwyn Lamb. My Facebook business page is Lamb Striking Academy. My Instagram name is Durwyn_Lamb. My business page is Lamb4.net. And I have a website that I just had built as well, and it's at DurwynLamb.com. And so that's where you can find me on all that stuff.
Yeah, we definitely gonna put all that. We're definitely gonna link all those links and pages to you, man, to make sure that people come check you out. And everybody out here in the near Fort Worth area, go check my man out.
Appreciate you guys so much.
It's always a pleasure. I've known you for as long as you've been in the business, and I've always admired you, and I appreciate you taking the time out and everything that you do. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've always loved you, and you're so pretty. I always said that too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good
Thank
stuff,
you.
man.
Much love to you guys. Thank you.
Definitely appreciate your time, my man. And God bless.
Have a great day. Yes, God bless. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. God bless you.
Talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.